And here we are, live Thursday night, Deadlands. And yeah, we are back with most of the gang. Wicked will not be here tonight to play H.G. Willikers. But that's okay, because he's off kind of entertaining some of Tam's envoy that came to town. So
So it works out.
yeah, it works out well. Yeah, very well. How you guys doing? How's your week
Folks,
been?
listen for explosions in the distance.
That's a good way to find HG. Right there is look for explosions in the distance.
Explosions or fires?
I actually
Either.
thought that I was going to have to tell Marbanya that Timmons is going to need to hire a fire brigade if H.G. Willers is coming to the election party.
Speaking of the election party, Timmons, what exactly are you doing there? Where are you throwing that election party at?
Um, can I? Will you share that map with me? Or I'll find it. There it is. Cool. Thanks.
You bet.
What about like right here?
And that big, well, that's private property in there. But
Yeah. Well, who do they want to rent it for a week?
you got to throw a party for a week. You're gonna,
Well, I need to set up the tents and get
That's
the
going to get a lot of
tables
votes that way.
you know.
yeah. So you're gonna
Maybe
actually set up
maybe we
a,
get a bounce house. I don't know.
you're gonna set up a campaign headquarters, is what you're talking about, and then have a party there too. Have a bounce house. Is that what you
Isn't
said?
that like right across the street from the other guy, right? Isn't that what am I thinking correct?
Mm,
Isn't it that house right there?
no, Granville Kurtz, the son of Sheck Kurtz, who owns the processing
Oh,
plant and
okay.
stuff, lives there.
How about this piece over here?
Yeah, that's
Or
actually owned
or
by
or
Hellstrom, Wasich.
Boo, Hellstrom.
And you know that Hellstrom's back in Granville Kurtz. You would have known that. Dr. Schultz, you said you were going to open up a dentist office.
I did.
And in looking for property or building or whatnot, let me come right over here to Dr. Schultz. What's the name of your business, Dr. Schultz?
Schultz Inc. DDS.
Schultz Inc. DDS. Uh, you see that old Sheck Kurtz himself has a prime piece of real estate. It's on the corner of First and Main. The price is $6,000. So let's see, Main Street and First Avenue. So it's on the corner of First and Main. No. Did I read that wrong? Yeah, it should be. What the fuck? Anyway, it's he's wanted $6,000 for it. And it's like prime downtown real estate. But he tells you,
Yeah.
you hear
You
about
said
this.
First and Main, right?
Yeah, First and Main. Yeah, that's it right there. First and Main. First Avenue and Main. So, $6,000, and you've seen other properties around here sell for 15, 30, whatever. But when you go to talk to this Sheck Kurtz about the property, he says, look, we've been needing a dentist around here, and you can see that his teeth just from age and whatnot, or he's willing to sell the land at half that cost if you'll fix his grill. And exposure to ghost rock has started to kind of take its toll. These last 10 years he's worked around this ghost rock, and He liked gold teeth, and he's willing to supply the gold in addition. So he'd sell you a piece of property for $3,000. It's already got a building on it, and he'll give you the gold, and he wants you to make him a set of teeth.
Not a problem, I assure you. We will get you in. We'll pluck out those rotted ivories you got. We'll make a mold. We'll make some golden teeth, and you will look fine for Thanksgiving.
And he's happy to hear that. Let's see. What? Schultz what? Industries DDS, Schultz Enterprises DDS.
Ink.
She'll
Fuck!
I'm gonna tell you what. Let's just be really generic. Dentist.
You know, you say that, but my business here in town, when I first decided to go into business for myself, was called The Computer Shop. And big letters across the front of the building, The Computer Shop. I don't deal with that public stuff anymore. But thank you, Caesar. Did you see me jump? He got me good. It's just called dentist office, huh? Okay. So we'll plop that right there.
Well, I mean, why be all excitable? This is perdition.
Out.
You know,
Personally, out of character, I think you should at least be a little bit fancier than dentist. It just doesn't scream Dr. Schultz.
I don't know. I mean, you ride through them old western towns and you saw doctor hanging on the front of it. Yeah, that's all it
yeah,
said. Just a shingle that said doc. This one says dentist.
yeah. I mean, it's in the old west. It was just generic as fuck.
Yeah, but
Because
this is
people
the
didn't give.
weird West.
Stop trying to my character or my business. Now, give me this little piece of property, and you can fuck off. You go play with the sheriff's office, and you call it Jeb Hexman's Law Dog Express or
Law
whatever
Dog Express. The Law Dog Express.
No.
shit. Dentist is as straightforward as it gets. And most of these, illiterate hillbillies out here in California in the 1800s, they probably can't even read what it says anyway. So
They just look for the swirly pole
big,
out front.
big D, big
Just
T at the
get a
end.
big tooth on the front and a pair of pliers on the door.
Yeah, simple shit.
Well, did you? Are you gonna take the tooth off the spring off the top? Well, that's your wagon's in Shanfan though, isn't it? Where are you guys'
I'll
wagons at? You had these
I'll
fancy.
order a
They're-
new one.
They're in Champagne.
Mm,
We got to get our boat.
Yeah, I gotta make an order anyway. I need chairs and tools and
right,
all the supplies and
Goals.
shit.
right. Okay, so that brings us to Doc Fong. And Doc Fong, some interesting things have happened in the last couple of days. Really, you guys get back to town, and you you first notice an influx of Chinese, and they seem to have some interest or connection to H.G. Willikers, and they kind of pit her off, and they've been messing around up here in this section of town for a while. And then the train rolls in the day you guys get here, and about 40 more Chinese get off the train, and they're all kind of like hanging out up in that section of the city. You're not really sure what's going on. HG's kind of went off and done his own thing. But
Have they opened up a Chinese restaurant yet?
what was the Chinese restaurant supposed to be called? Let's see. What was it? Oh, come on. Uh, let's see. I don't know. I can't find it now. Oh, Growing Pains from Maritimes. There it is.
D-
Oh,
In my neck of the woods, anything Chinese food related, uh, nail related, it's all celestial.
it's Celestial. I don't have it in here right away.
Apparently, Doc Fong has gas.
Does he? Well, Doc, you were wanting to open up like a medical facility.
Yes, got to have that hospital
The hospital.
or doctor clinic.
And who's building that here in the middle of the street?
Me? That's Timmons. Timmons gets some tents going for his.
Oh, it's right in the middle of the freaking street, Main Street, man. Timmons
Uh,
starts setting up.
Hey, look,
It was on the
look,
docket.
it's on the docket, and I got the permit signed by the mayor. So here we go, Jib. If you wouldn't
Oh,
mind
fuck.
having some deputies block off the road both ends, and then we're gonna have us a little action going on here.
Which
Okay.
reminds me, have I hired any more deputies?
Well, Valmer
Boy,
Tate.
did you get the last ones killed? Do you need
Not
new
yet.
ones? Do you keep? They ain't dead yet. Oh, well,
Well,
then what do you need
I,
more for?
these guys are the
well,
only
I was
deputies other than Valmer Tate that you've got, right? I don't remember you having any
yeah,
other deputies.
true.
That's all our budget can afford. Plus, we ain't trust nobody else.
Ladies
Yes.
and ladies and gentlemen, I give you our mayor, a man of few words, but most effective words.
A man of few thoughts.
What's the good point of thinking about something? Just react. Either you did it right, or you gotta do it again.
Then you're gonna have to buy in. Come on, this is the mayor we're talking to here. Come on, stop kicking him in the
Right.
nut when he's trying to do his shit.
Let me stand up on the podium for a little while, Jib.
Well, Timmons goes about setting up this big camp here in the middle of the town, and
Wait, when's the election? Wait, what's the date? I'm
uh,
clicking my calendar. It's on the freaking
the
desktop.
the
That doesn't
date
work.
is the 10th, 7 p.m. You're just rolling in this evening from your 2-day trek up to Collegium Station. Jeb, you still can't really talk yet. Your flesh hasn't grown back completely.
Somehow he still
So you're
interjects.
still kind of whispering, but you
It's a
know.
damn job law, dog. You're supposed to do what the mayor says.
All right, yeah. So it's 5 days until the election.
Yep, 5 days till the election. So what day are you
All right,
holding
yeah.
this party on?
So, well, we're gonna do the whole weekend: Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday will be the election, and then we'll tear down the tents and stuff the next day. So
Okay.
I give myself a permit to close off Main Street for
Oh my god,
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
it's like the town festival in September where I was born and raised. They locked off Main Street, put a big fucking tent up for 4 days
It
every year.
is.
Well, as the day progresses, now this would be the following day. So let me just go ahead and bump the calendar forward here. It's the 11th, and we'll say by 9 a.m. you got the tent starting to go up here, right?
Well,
And
no, we weren't going to set those up till later. I just got them drawn. We got a plan.
okay, so yeah, I was going to ask you, where were you going to get these tents at?
Yeah, no, I need to get the tents, but that's the plan. Is I need to get tents to build that. So
Right. Well, you can
help me
get
out, DM.
canvas and
Is there
stuff.
tents are us in town?
No, but there is the
There's
Hellstrom
sailboats
Ministries
and shit, right?
dry goods and sundries. I mean, this place right here is outfitted to stock to outfit miners. So they got like rolls of canvas, you know.
Well, there's trains that come through here. There's all kinds of tarps
Oh, yeah.
and stuff I could get. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just make them out of tarps and poles and stuff.
Yep.
Actually,
Okay.
you know what? I'm going to hire some Indians to come help because they can build the shit out of some tents.
That's pretty good.
That's
Tim.
slightly racist.
What? They're good with TPs.
Oh fuck. Um,
Where they were in the past.
they were in the past. This is true.
So he thinks all Indians are great with building teepees. Is that what Timmons thinks? Doesn't matter where they're from. They're great at building teepees.
Absolutely.
Oh shit.
Let's see. What's Marshall? Is that what we call?
Plus, I will
well-
be. Timmons is upholding his agreement with the Women's Hat Society
Sorry about that.
that he had to get the Indians from over there, so he brought them over here.
So
Just as you asked, I got them out from over there. They here now.
okay, so it's 9 o'clock on the 11th. 9 o'clock in the morning. So let me timestamp some stuff here, so you guys put that in your notes. Timestamp your notes. You're standing around out in front of City Hall, the mayor's office, and you're saying, we're going to put a tent up, and you're talking about all this stuff, and the crowd starts to gather around. What's going on here, Mayor?
Timmons says, we just getting ready for the election coming up.
The election?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the election. And as this guy's standing here talking to you, you see this face kind of peek over his shoulder, and he's looking right at you, and you hear this kind of, what the hell, do I not have my, I don't have my Sirenscape going, do I?
I don't either.
I hear it.
It's loud and happy.
Yeah, it's weird music, man. Is that you?
Nope, that would be Clyde's theme song.
Oh, is it stuck?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm
I
trying to
see.
stop all. I'm trying to stop all and restart the whole damn thing.
I don't hear anything anymore.
Yeah, he stopped it.
There we
I'm
go.
saying it worked.
All right. So you see this little head peek up, and it's got a bowler hat on, and it's this face that, you know, you're like, that's the ugliest fucker. That's that ugly fucker that's throwing shit. And about that time, give me an agility roll, Timmons. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Agility?
Yeah. And this monkey grins at you, and he steps up on this guy's shoulders, and the guy's all freaking out. He's going, what the hell? And the monkey's laughing and waddling back and forth, and he takes his handful of shit, and you know it's coming, and you duck, and bam, and it hits Doc Fong right in the face. Kind of tastes like peanut butter. It's a monkey, Doc Fong. Courteous of Caesar.
Oh. Did you have to say it tasted like peanut butter though?
It's like peanut butter.
Oh.
But the main thing is,
Timmons looks back to him and says, is that one of your relatives?
and then he disappears. You see him run off just kind of like this through the crowd, and he climbs up the side of a building, and over the roof he goes. Thank you, Caesar. For Clyde. There's Clyde's made his appearance.
Hey, don't puke over here, Doc Fon. Go over there. We're going to be setting tents up here. You can get all that ants going.
Drops a hanky on Doc's face. Okay, so now you got monkey poop and a piece of cloth with snot all over it. Well, of course, it's undead snot, so I guess it
It's
doesn't
clean.
really exist.
It's clean.
There's no snot that comes out of that nose
Yeah.
anymore.
He doesn't notice as he has fainted.
Oh, is your face a manure, Doc Fang?
No Sirenscape on stream. Well, shit. No siren escape on stream. Well, it should be. Let's try that again. Okay, he says there it is. Never mind. I didn't need to scroll down to the chat. All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I need to do one of those. I'm a little scared though. Not sure
Yeah.
what's gonna happen.
Short.
Do you need
I-
to use the outhouse, Mayor Timmons?
Yeah, every time I see someone throw up, I gotta take a shit. Just facts of life.
All right. So as things are going on around town here, let's see. Where did I close the wrong? No, there it is. Hello. Hello. Gene Wilder.
Hello.
No.
Let's see here. Jeb Hexman.
Yes.
You notice that Bulmer Tate, first thing he does when you get back into town, he looks you up. Of course, you check in with him, and he tells you, man, peace and order getting a little bit harder to maintain here in Perdition as this election grows near, and there's open hostilities in the streets, and it's got your jail once again full of drunken fighters and other minor offenses, where some time to sober up and cool off is, usually all that's needed. Um, you got time for little else. But you do know that Timmons is holding a party, and it seems most of the town will be in attendance. So, with Volmer Tate still staying on as deputy marshal and watching the jail, you should be able to relax a bit at this party coming up.
Or at least keep an eye out at the party.
Right. Doc Fong, aside from you, trying to find a place to set up a hospital or a medical clinic or whatever, I take it you're probably still patrolling the streets as a deputy.
And he also was he wanted to talk to Ernest Raymond, the preacher.
Ernest Raymond, the preacher. The preacher at the Perdition Church and Schoolhouse.
Yes.
Okay.
The one, I believe he is.
Yeah, he's the one that watched over or helped heal what's his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's not associated with the Lost Angels guy.
Right.
Yeah, the Lost Angels guy. You only see him when he's got a crowd of people and they're all going through the streets and praying and singing and stuff. So, what do you want to talk to him about?
Mr. Preacher there.
Yes, my Chinese
I know
brother.
that your religion and your religious man that hangs on the wall, the man with the beard,
Yes,
are all about helping people.
Jesus the
And
Christ. Yes.
Yes, that one.
Come. You and I need to talk.
Well, I was going to say, you see, I was hoping to build a medical facility because there is a shortage of doctors here, and I thought maybe you would like to help, as you are known around town, and you did help that one time with that fellow who was unconscious.
What exactly do you have in mind?
Well, we could offer medical services to people who are injured.
Like a hospital.
Exactly.
Well, you have great aspirations, Mr.
My name is Doc Fong.
Oh, Doc, as in Dr. Fong.
Exactly.
Well, treating the needs of those less fortunate. It's just something that Jesus Christ would want us to do. And it would give us time to visit and talk more about Jesus. Does that sound like a great plan to you?
I suppose so.
Where do you plan on setting this hospital up?
I don't know. I'm just had this idea and going to look for a suitable place. And I thought speaking to you first would be a good idea, as you seem much more trustworthy than that other fellow.
You know, Doc Fong, and I don't mean to be offensive, but have you thought about bringing on a white doctor? And I
I
believe you know why I say that.
I did have an idea of that sort, in case some of the locals might be more inclined to go to that. And in addition, then we would have more medical people.
Well, I think you have great aspirations, and if there's anything I can do, I'd be more than happy to help. We'll take up a love offering at services Sunday next. How does that sound?
That sounds great. And if you know anyone who has become a doctor or becoming one back east or elsewhere
Ooh,
here in California,
I will take it into consideration and pray upon it.
Do they have heart-shaped tithe dishes? A love donation in your name.
A love offering.
They're heart-shaped tithe dishes to pass around.
So you kind of establish this, get this dialogue going with the local preacher. He hasn't really promised you anything yet, I don't think, but
Pray a prayer.
a
Promised a
prayer.
prayer.
Promise you a prayer and what they can raise in a love offering. All right. Let's see. Moving along, Jeb Hexman, you're just kind of dealing with this stuff. So, anybody want to do anything else on this particular day, which is Friday the 11th?
Uh,
Marshal Hicksman,
Yes.
weren't
Yes.
you go? Didn't you mention something about investigating that Kurtz fellow? All those weird gunmen keep leaving his house.
Uh, yes. Did you want to join me, Doc Fong?
Indeed, I shall. Perhaps Dr. Schultz or Mayor Timmons are around, though Mayor Timmons seems to be busy putting up tents.
Oh, you know what? I did some audio edits and forgot all about it. Yeah, so I got an audio track of Walking the Streets of Perdition. Yeah. You hear
This music makes me think this is the nicest little town I'll ever get shot dead in.
That's good.
yeah,
It's
I need
good.
to turn it up.
I mean, it's just some kind of slight ambient background noise.
I like it. I like it. So, Timmons needs to get some food going. So he's gonna inquire about getting tarps and tents set up. He's gonna hire some laborer types, and then he's got to figure out food. So,
That brings
wild
us to the
game.
next option on my or item on my list. Is there has become an immediate shortage of food, even worse than when you left. And you kind of, I won't even make you do a notice roll.
Even the horses are getting scared with this food shortage.
Did you
I mean, no grain, right?
did you hear the blacksmith
No, the
talking
horses
to him?
could get eaten.
All the voices of the people in the background are my voice, but they've been edited. So just give this a listen just a second. Everybody just
Are there any monkey sounds here?
Did you know Mayor Timmons has 3 testicles? No, say it isn't so.
All right. I did 2 audio sets. That one's got like 12 or 14 tracks to it. All right. So, where are you going to get the tents at?
Where can I get the tents at? Do I have to buy them?
Probably.
I mean, I can rent them. Is there a circus around?
No. But there's
How long does it?
Barnum and Bailey?
How long does it take to get supplies via railway?
I mean, think about it. Between here and the next closest points east, you could connect to Carson City, Nevada. There is a military place in southern Nevada. The
Is
tracks.
there dry docks down at the docks? They got tarps. I can go get dry dock.
Yep.
Oh, Mayor Timmons has 3
Big tent
testicles.
tarps down from the dry docks.
See,
I
it
just
isn't
hire a
so.
boat crew to come set up their tents for a week, like a ship.
Yeah, the tarps over the barges and stuff. Okay. So you don't have a problem getting tarps. So by what? Middle of the day, Friday evening, you start to set up tents and stuff.
Yeah, all day Saturday or whatnot.
All day
Party's
Saturday?
Sunday.
Well, as soon as all this shit starts going up, Dr. Schultz, you're standing here talking to these guys, and you recognize him because you just ended up in a land transaction with him. You see Meshach Kurtz himself, strolling forward in his fancy duds, and he does not look happy at all. And he's got his son Granville in tow, along with an entourage of people. And he walks up to you and he demands what is going on here, blocking traffic around the facility.
Who's he
Timmons
asking?
says- He just blurts it out. Timmons says, "This is for the election. It's the party for the election. Who is this? Do I know who he is?"
You've not met him yet, no. You've seen Granville Kurtz giving speeches, standing up on soapboxes giving speeches.
In the extension of the town hall. You coming to the party tonight?
Well, who gave
Or
you
Sunday?
permission to build this in the middle of the street?
I did.
And how can you give yourself permission? You're blocking commerce.
That's easy. I'm the mayor. I can give myself permission.
His face is getting
Interim
more
mayor.
purple. The more you talk, the more purple his face gets. My
And
son
this
will be
here-
mayor this time next
Well,
week.
when your son's mayor, then he can get his own tent, but he's a man.
You're an imbecile. And he just turns around and walks off.
Dr. King Schultz
Don't step in that minute. I tried to warn you. You got
stands
boots now.
outside of his office now and sips his coffee, watching this shit go down.
So you're standing down here looking down the street watching,
3 testicles.
and you can hear
See, it isn't so.
what? What, man?
The testicles thing.
in
It popped
mid-sip,
up at a very odd moment.
It was just something else.
in mid-sip of his coffee, Schultz looks over at the old lady and says, "Madam, if you really want to know about his testicles, I am sure the mayor would be happy to give you a free exam, so to speak. You
Well,
can check it."
I never. And she's fanning herself as they walk away. Unfortunately, until I go back and edit that part out, it's going to be in the track as it loops around here.
Madam, have you
It's
Unsure about
hilarious.
what's going on.
Madam, have you changed your mind? Would you like to have that consultation with the infamous mayor now?
It's You see them kind of clucking at each other like a couple of hens and looking over their shoulder as they scurry away from you down the street. And actually, they just kind of. All right. So you're setting this up. You have this kind of confrontation with Shek Kurtz. And let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Somebody mentioned the uh, uh, gunslingers that's been seen coming out of the. I said it was his house. It's not his house. It's the uh, Kurt shipping office right there.
Won't they keep shipping in new guns for people?
Sorry, I got distracted for a moment.
Okay. Dr. Schultz, you see those ladies coming around the corner again. They just looks like they walked around the block. Or is it
They like it.
Groundhog Day?
They like it.
Did you know Mayor Timmons has 3 testicles?
Really?
Say it
Is that
isn't
true?
so.
It isn't so.
Alright, so we're going to turn that
Madam,
down.
he's right down the street. I will let him come into my office, and you can come into my office. I will take a short walk, and you can see for yourself.
And she,
Think he would clear her
oh,
head.
oh, well, I never. And she fans herself and walks away again. It's deja vu all over again. Okay. So as this continues on throughout the day, the next day, I guess you start having a party. Is that yeah, yay, nay?
Well, I'm gonna go over to Red Saloon. Timon did say, Mr. Callahan, I'd like you to see if you can raffle up some drinks and stuff for the party we having on Sunday.
Well, I got all the drinks you could ever want, but the food's hard to come by.
Well, I ain't too worried about people not. Maybe if they get drunk enough, they won't think about how hungry they are. Maybe I'll see if I can get some croutons or something.
Maybe on Sunday I was thinking about paying somebody to sneak some of that food out that they give away at that big church down there in Los Angeles. Bring some of that food up here. It's getting bad. You hear his stomach growling as he's talking to you. Pants kind of look like they're falling off of him a little bit.
I'm pretty hungry too. I've still been eating beans. Ooh, oops, excuse me.
He tells you he'd be glad to sell beer there or whatever. Or you want to give it away?
Yeah. He's gonna give some away.
At least the first couple of glasses, right, Mayor?
He's gonna give anybody who votes for him a free beer.
And you don't know if they're going to vote for you or not, but you're going to vote for Timmons, have a free beer. Vote for Timmons, have a free beer.
Yep.
All right, so
if they really oppose me, then they won't drink my beer.
then if we have nothing else to do, we're moving to the next day.
Or they're drunk.
Or they would take your beer and spit it in your face.
Before we move to the next
Uh-huh.
day, Schultz would have actually gone down to the, I'm guessing the general store, and placed an order for the supplies he would need for his office.
Okay.
So.
Now you could have them shipped in from it. Now you know the Iron Dragon Railroad because you passed it. H.G. Willikers took a ride in Red Petal Sue's chopper, her little gyro, if you guys remember that. Amazingly, she doesn't seem to remember you. Of course, it was a high-speed chase when it all happened, and you know, you guys were kind of like shooting from inside the train cars at her, so she looked at you with familiarity, but The Iron Dragon Railroad doesn't quite reach down here. Maybe another week or two, and it's going to get here. That's one of the things the mayor's got to do is get it approved. The railroad runs east and west. Um, you'd probably have to send back east for good porcelain and steel dental supplies. Uh, and if you ordered them from Hellstrom Industries right here, they'd be shipped here and be here within the week.
Oh shit. Then I would definitely go to Hailstrom's and
Uh,
order all my supplies from him.
or I said right that Hellstrom's is right there. Because I mean that's the Sears and Roebuck, Sears and
Okay.
Roebuck's outlet, and
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah. To service the people of Perdition and our Indian compatriots. Yeah, whatever's going to be the fastest and most secure.
Okay. So within a week you will have. Let's see. So I'm going to put on the calendar DM's note a week from now. Log entry on the 19th.
And I'd also order like a bedroom set as well. I'm assuming that it's probably, is there 2 stories to this or just 1 story? A room in the back where I can have like a bedroom, like the old
Yeah.
Western type shit.
Well, it's not as there's a big tall ceiling. It's probably the ceiling inside here is probably 12 feet tall, but it's a single story. But yeah, you could put your home in the back of it.
Did you know Mayor Timmons
Or
has
maybe up on a
3
loft in the
testicles?
back,
No,
so
seeing
it's
as
kind of
it's,
short up there, but
Yeah,
Just
might
have
be
them
kinda
sit on
cool.
your bed while you do the dentistry.
yeah.
Obviously, Brad, you've not watched a lot of Gunsmoke. I did when I was a kid, so it sounds perfectly normal for the time period based
Well,
on those
I
movie
understand.
tones.
I was just saying, if you just combine it all into one room like a big loft, just
A
you
bed
get
in the
more
corner.
space that way.
You just do the work and you're lazy boy in front of the freaking fire.
Hell, I think on Gunsmoke,
Smoke.
the doctor actually used his own bed for patients, where it was so small and cramped. Kind of the same thing with in Deadwood. Um, it was just very basic, very sparse in terms of what you did have access to.
This place is very much like Deadwood, but it's being the camp feeling is being replaced by more permanent. Uh, like they're tearing down these shacks and lean-tos that were first put up and building nicer, more permanent structures. But it's very much like that. All right, so I got a note in the calendar. A week from today, you should get your dentist supplies.
And I'll order a new tooth for the building.
Oh, a new plastic. That may take a little longer to get here.
That's fine.
Okay.
Just want to place the order.
You place the order. So yeah, we'll say it takes a little bit longer. All right. Let's see the big event, the party, Jeb Hexman Timmons. No, you don't know what the hell. Albert's still messing around down here at the place he bought that he's named the Devil's Den, and looks like he's getting pretty close to opening for business. But Albert, he's drunk most of the day, and it doesn't look that much different than it did. It hasn't been cleaned up much. Matter of fact, there's probably more whiskey bottles laying around than there was when he first got the place. And he just basically laying around in there drunk. And a couple times a day, he'll pick up a broom and push it around and sweep some stuff up. But he's not getting anywhere really. He's just kind of sitting down there stewing. But then comes Saturday. And Saturday, the big party starts. Yeah, yeah.
Well, the final setup, the big party's Sunday,
Okay. All right. So
the one where they're giving away free drinks.
all right. So you start getting more and more stuff set up. Anybody want to do anything on Saturday? We're gonna keep passing time. If you don't,
Timmons
Uh,
is gonna.
I want to go out for a meal
the,
and find out that they don't have any food here.
oh yeah, yeah. You've matter of fact, you've been staying until you get carpenters hired and build you a little apartment in the back of your building. You guys have all been staying down here at the Cliff Watch Hotel. And you can still get a meal there.
Well, over
There's
these days of eating the rotting meat and food,
Well, Jeb Hexman
uh,
has no problem at all with eating this meal. Seems fine to
oh,
him.
everything's cool.
Jim
But
Heckman would eat his own leg if he could.
no, because then I wouldn't be able to walk around.
Well, you could just eat the muscles off of it. Don't they grow back?
Eventually. Speaking of which, how's
Eat
the throat
slow.
after these several more days? It takes like
It's
3 hours
it's starting to come back around. It's growing. You've had plenty of rotten meat because that's about just about all the meat you find. If you don't get it freshly killed and brought in, or go out and kill something yourself, by the time it gets on a plate someplace, it's turned rancid. Uh, Matter of fact, the owner of the Cliff Watch Hotel starts discussing this with you, Dr. Schultz, and he says, this it's just so strange. Come and look at this. He goes, I just had this shipped in last week, and you see these canned goods stacked on the shelf, and about half of them have swollen and burst.
Oops.
Oh, botulism, not something we want to be playing around with here in the town with only one physician.
What burst exactly?
You are not here, Law Dog.
I was asking out of character because I missed the word.
You need to listen.
I was
Canned
coughing
goods.
at the moment, so fuck you. Thank you, Mark.
Fuck you. Fuck your mama. Fuck your daddy. Fuck your sister too. Now, pay attention. Shit.
I was coughing. Excuse me for coughing and not hearing the word.
You're excused for coughing.
Okay, boys. Okay, we're gonna moving right along. So yeah, he shows you that. He says, "Man, I just had these shipped in here last week." He said, uh, "They should last 2 years," and a good number of them just swollen up and burst, and there's like you can smell it when you walk in. He said, "I just cleaned this up yesterday from the first mess that it made," and so he's complaining about everything just turning rancid. But yeah, you can find food. It's getting really expensive.
All right. Since the Law Dog wants to be involved, uh, Dr. Schultz will go straight to the sheriff's office and say, what is it you plan to do about the food situation?
What food situation? I'm not having a problem with the food.
He thinks it's
The
delicious.
Exactly.
the people whom you serve are not doing so well. I don't know if you've noticed this, but you might want to open your eyes and walk around a little bit. Take a look at
Oh,
the canned goods. Take a look at their meat supplies. Everything is going rancid very quickly.
yes.
It is abnormal.
Yes, it is abnormal, and this isn't the first time we've seen this. We've seen this when we first arrived in the area of Shanfan, and I think it's been getting worse and growing since. Not Shanfan.
Well, when you first got
Oh, right.
here, it started. You went to Shanfan
Yeah.
and
I
spent
didn't.
some
I
time. It
said
was
the wrong word.
fine there. It was fine in
I
Shanfan until you started to leave, and then you started hearing them talk about a shortage of food. It was starting to happen north of there, but it's.
Yeah, I just said the wrong city at first. I was meaning
Right.
Los Angeles.
Right. So I mean, this is a real threat that's growing. Trains bring it in, and as quick as they can offload it here. And the funny thing is the good Reverend Grimm has outlawed the importing of all food because it could possibly contaminate their stores that they have there in the city of Los Angeles. So all this food's
Oh,
being offloaded here in Perdition.
I believe you said the one Chinese guy that we were talking to had been from Quan province.
There was something said last session about who was
The
it?
ones that were coming in who are moving in?
The ones that were going to open up the restaurant.
Yes.
Yep.
Were they from Quan Province?
They had moved in from Quan Province, yeah. You also would find out over the last couple of days that this envoy sent from Tam, who's been kind of, you know, him and H.G. Williker's all secretive, talking together. Um, his name is Lu Chao Chin. And by Saturday, Marshall and Mayor, there are several people downtown complaining of being unlawfully evicted from their properties.
You're gonna have to talk to the court clerk who's over there on the ladder, putting up the streamers.
The court clerk? Who's the court clerk? There's no court here yet. You are the court, Mayor.
I was trying to lie.
These people are mad. We're madder than hell. They got pitchforks and shit. We're madder than hell.
Well, if you come back tomorrow, we're gonna have mostly good baby back ribs.
They came in the middle of the night and throwed us all out. It ain't right. We bought that property. It's ours.
Well, that was they weren't me. So who was they?
I don't know who they was. Bunch of thugs, and you see a couple of the guys here. One of them's got his, face just almost looks like a hamburger.
Well, I think that's a sheriff's department right there. Maybe you should go talk to Jeb Hickman.
So, Jeb, you're sitting around a marshal's office, and you hear a mob coming down the street. We're madder than hell.
Are they carrying Timmons with them, or
pretty much? You're the mayor, and they basically explain to you that in the middle of the night, a bunch of thugs came and tossed them all out of their houses, and you come to find out it's this enter drawing mode. Everybody in there was thrown out of their property.
Me and my deputies will be. Sorry.
What? Where is this property? Did you put it on the map?
On the left, there's a circle now.
Northwest Cutter Road and Second Avenue.
Yep, the northwest
Oh, it just
section.
popped up for me.
Yep, northwest section of town. You got to do something, Marshall, Mayor. This can't be right. This can't be legal.
Well, Wednesday, I would be more than happy to go down there and make sure all your property's back.
It'll be too late by then.
will...
All them Chinamen will be moved in there.
Well, Wednesday is the day that I could be mayor. You understand that? So you got to vote me in.
Well, you're mayor right now.
I ain't got nothing to do with that right now. I'm an interim mayor. I just hold a position. That's it.
So we vote you in. You'll take care of this.
Absolutely. Them Chinamen will get moved properly.
What are we supposed to do in the meantime?
Have a party. An
An
election party.
Some of them are carrying babies with them and stuff.
They're invited.
Well, here comes the fiddler you hired.
Yeah, fiddle it away. Look, the babies are smiling. We're going to have some fiddles.
And with that, the party starts up.
We set them up in here, like in this little alcove here, so it reverbs around town.
We're going to get run out of this town. Oh, shit.
Timmons said to Dr. Schultz, if you want to piss somebody off, run for mayor.
Marshall, you gonna?
You're correct.
I'm gonna go.
You're gonna go investigate
go.
what's happening. See,
Yeah,
you get up
asked if
there.
Doc Fong wanted me.
Oh, Doc Fong, you're gonna take Doc Fong with you.
Yep, I'm not gonna go alone. Are you there, Doc Fong?
Yes, of course.
Well, you guys head up there in the northwest neighborhood, northwest block up there, and sure enough, man, there's Chinamen everywhere. Chinese, and they're moving things out of the houses, and they're moving other things into the houses and into the stores and into the shops, and right in the middle of all of it is Lu Chao Chen and H.G. Willikers. H.G. just
No.
as drunk as he's ever been.
Alright, well, Jeb's gonna approach HG and ask him, what the fuck?
Well, you know H.G. He looks at you, and goes, "That's the question of the day. What the fuck?" And he just kind of rambles off and
Oh, wow.
wanders off down the street. You see him take out a bottle of something and shakes it up like this, listens to it for a second, and then tucks it back in his coat. Lu Chao Chen is standing here looking at you.
um, I think Doc Fong is speaking to him.
I think that's a horse taking a piss.
A horse.
Timmons, that's not you, is it?
No, I was meaning in FG chat. He's speaking Chinese, I believe.
Oh, that I am, yes.
Uh,
He asked what was going on.
he tells
More
you
like-
that this is the
Like
property
my
that
cat ran across my keyboard.
yeah. He tells you this. And it's a little broken, so you can tell that Mandarin's not his first language, but
Ah. So Marshal Jeb. Apparently this is the new Chinese section of town, according to this Shek Kurtz fellow who sold the property.
Alright, so he just allowed them
hello,
to
Dragon Bait.
evict these people without any warning? Did these
I believe he may have done the evicting when he sold the property.
And in fairly decent English, there's those babies crying. There's that horse pissing again. In fairly good English, he looks at you and he says, "No, I assure you, it was not us that did the evicting."
Alright, so we need to go speak to this particular Kurtz. Don't get too comfortable here. I'm gonna look into this further.
But if
Uh,
you need any medical supplies, I am willing to help you.
all right. So where are you going?
Gonna go talk to this, what was his first name? Schultz?
Shek, Meshek Kurtz. His son Granville is the other candidate running for mayor. He's the guy that owns the processing plant.
That everything seems to connect to here.
He's the one who is yelling in the street that you're blocking commerce.
Yeah.
You know who he is.
Told me my plot of land.
He lives in that house, and he sold Dr. Schultz that piece of property. And he wants a new grill made of gold. Those are the things you know about him right now. Maybe not the
I
grill.
paid him.
You don't know anything about the grill made of gold. Oh, yes.
I did pay him in cash.
Okay.
Do I have a sale for my establishment.
It's funny that you ask. Uh, at this point, I think it's been a gentleman's agreement. I haven't heard you say anything about having an attorney draw up paperwork or anything like that.
Well, I have an attorney back east. I would definitely have sent word.
Okay, so you get the legal description from the surveyors, from him, and he tells you that this is the legal description of the property, and you send it to your attorney and stuff. So it's not official yet, but you could make it official, and he gives you kind of a sly look when he makes the exchange. But you go to find him where at his house. You go to his house, look for him right there.
Well, I would check there, and if he's not there, I'd probably go to the party. But I have a feeling that he's not going to show up at the party.
Actually, I don't know what gave you that feeling, because when you get to the party, the place is packed. I mean, there's no business going on today anyway. And you see drunken revelers here and there, and, there's a little bit of tension. You kind of know the old Union factions and Confederate factions, these old soldiers that have been in town around here, and they often fight with each other at the bar and stuff, and some of that going on. But sure enough, there's Shek Kurtz, and him and his son Granville and a whole bunch of others are kind of standing off in the corner.
Hey, Marshal. If everyone is here distracted, it might be a good time if you were to wanted to investigate that shipping office.
I think I shall, but let's talk to Check first. And I'm going to approach him.
Okay,
Mr. Kurtz.
Marshall.
I don't think we've had the pleasure. I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting personally.
I know who you are. What do you got to say?
Well, it's my understanding that you sold some property to some Chinese that people were living in. Is that correct? You evicted them?
I sell a lot of property.
I'm talking about Cutter between First Avenue and Second.
Oh,
Sold it
when
to,
he looks at the guys around him, and they all kind of, they're chuckling. They're, mirthless chuckles. But he says, "Oh, yes, my most recent business transaction involving real estate that is, worth quite a bit right here around my processing facility."
all right. I'm going to intimidate him. I'm going to get it right into his face. I'm going to let him smell my breath, see my decaying skin.
Okay, hang on a
And
second.
I'm going to intimidate him with with this, and with that, I'm going to use an adventure card. Ace. Automatically succeed on a
Nice.
trait roll with a single raise.
Okay, so I'm not even going to pull it up and find it then. So he's got his back to all of his other people. A couple of them are, you can tell these guys are probably pretty good with guns. One of them looks like he can handle himself in a barroom brawl pretty good, standing right beside him. And they're all looking at you, but you see just ever so slightly the look in his eye that says, that he knows something's not right here, and he kind of backs away from you. He does like this, and he's fanning your breath away.
I suggest you return the property to the townsfolk that were living there.
Marshal, it's a done deal.
You can find some way. You're a very clever businessman, yes?
I'm a very clever businessman. That's exactly how I got to where I am. And that's exactly how all these people got to standing around where they're at right at this very moment, is because I was a clever businessman. Now, those folks had no legal right to that property. None whatsoever. Ask them. They can't produce nothing. But now the transaction
Can you produce something?
I can.
Can you produce? You can produce the original deed for the land.
Where the original deed for the
No, any
land is
sort
in
of
my
road.
name, or it was until last night, and now belongs to
Any,
a Mr. Dan Jackson.
okay. Who is Dan Jackson? Would I know this name?
No, but good possibility it might be the only white guy that got off the train with all these Chinese.
Interesting.
He's a new doctor in town. No, I'm kidding.
He's my associate, DDS in training.
Would somebody quit watering that horse?
Well, there is free drink after all, Mayor.
Maybe it's somebody drunk just going up beside building pissing.
My good man, why don't you take your horse down the street a little bit? I'm sure he's a fine specimen. I'm sure he will enjoy himself next to some of the mares that are hitched up to the post, so to speak, while you get your drink on and you fiddle it away and enjoy yourself in this wonderful party.
Yeah.
Because frankly, Schultz didn't like standing around in horse piss all night.
So you're not gonna hang and party with him. You're gonna go back to your place of business, kind of, or maybe go find some carpenters to build your little apartment in the back.
Schultz is going to go back to his office and he just has a hunch that he's going to load up his shotgun and be ready. Because this is going to get messy, I think.
You gotta go sit on the porch with the shotgun and wait for the noise to get louder, huh?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it does progressively.
Well, Mr. Kurtz, just so you know, I've got my eyes on you. And I'll walk away.
Yes,
confidently.
yes, Marshall. You have a fine day. And you see the kid in back, Daddy. That's the lawman. Shut up, Granville.
Sometimes I feel like somebody's watching me.
You make me want to go home and punch your mother
Right in the mouth.
right
Oh
in the
my God.
mouth.
That is Smokey and the Bandit right there.
Unfortunately,
Future
his mother's dead, so he can't really say that.
Oh,
Kind
unfortunately.
lady, I am been in hot pursuit of the most vile soul, bitch.
So, Doc Fong and Jeb walk away from the Kurtz and says, I think we should investigate this shipping office. What do you think?
That seems a good idea while everyone is quite distracted.
Okay, so you and Doc Fong head to the shipping office.
Yeah, the one owned by them.
All right, you get down to about here, and you can see a couple people coming out of the building. Another one tips her hat to them as they walk in. So there's still people down there doing business. It is the middle of the day, or early in the day.
I thought it was party at night.
No, it's 11 a.m. on Sunday.
Mayor gives a hell of a party.
Starts at dawn, I think.
Starts at sun up.
Yep.
Sun up the next fucking morning, apparently.
Well,
It
until
actually
till
started on
Tuesday night.
Saturday.
Yeah, till Tuesday night.
God. Oh my! This town is.
Are we having Taco Tuesday this week?
Well, there ain't no
Mayor?
good
You-
food, so they're all getting it out of a you know a barrel.
Hexman, you need more deputies. I'm gonna tell you right now. All these drunk ass motherfuckers.
But at least Timmons to blame, so I can at least arrest him and they might be happy with it for a while.
It's on the docket, Jib. It'll be on the docket. No problem.
All right, so you guys head down there toward to kind of check out what's going on around Kurt's shipping office. Now, in the meantime, Timmons, you're standing here, and Luke Joker Watson, the guy that owns Telegraph Office, also candidate for mayor. You see he and Lacey O'Malley approaching you, smiles on their faces, and your little bit of interaction with him has been, quite pleasant.
Gentlemen,
Mr.
welcome.
Simmons, good day to you, sir.
Did you get your vote in for your free beer?
Well, you do know that I am running against you.
That's all right. You can still vote for me.
He looks at you, and the smile starts to fade from his face, and he looks down at the ground and back up at you. And he's got a serious look. He says, Mr. Timmons, or Mr. Simmons, and let me find. Surely I didn't close it again, did I? Here we go. So he asks you to speak frank, if you can speak frankly.
What? That's my middle name, Timmons. Frankly,
He says, he kind of, again, no mirth in his chuckle. He says, I need to know if you really consider yourself a good candidate for Perdition, for the mayor of Perdition. And
absolutely not.
what? He just stops. He's stunned. Well, then why are you running? Do you have
Because
their
I don't
best
like the
interest at heart?
because the chances of me getting is pretty slim. But even if I do win, I was planning on turning it over to you anyways.
Well, he looks at Lacey O'Malley, and Lacey O'Malley looks back at him, and Lacey says, Timmons, are you sure that's a good idea? The folks might think the whole thing's been a setup from the get-go.
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it? We're trying to get these curses out of town, ain't we?
Well, we all know that it would be in everyone's best interest not to have a Kurtz as mayor, considering they own all the property and half the businesses in the town.
Well, that's the only other way I can think of doing it. Having two candidates running against the curses.
Yes!
Chances are one of us is probably going to get elected over the other one.
Thank you for the follow. Just another guy named Harry. Just another guy named Harry.
What's up, Harry?
Uh,
Dragon Bait.
Dragon Base, yeah, he'd been lurking for a while. He parkoured in with a hello, Brad said.
He said, Timmons said, I really don't want to be mayor. I just know that my position as interim mayor was supposed to disrupt some things going on in town. I know fool. I know the curses ain't the right people to be running this place.
So he looks at Lacey O'Malley and says, it's going to cause an uproar among some of them, some of the population. But if I were to just drop out of the race, you would have both of our votes. Because our votes would be split. You know Kurt's method, and he looks over and he nods. He nods at, now you notice standing over in the back, you can see Shek Kurtz over there. You hadn't noticed him before. And you see Jeb Hexman turning and walking away from him and Doc Fong, and they head east up Main Street. But you can see him and his son and a whole entourage of people, but there's four dudes standing there. They got their guns tied to their legs. Uh, you've got no doubt about it that these guys they know their business with a gun.
They look like wild cards.
They might look like wild cards, and then some. And you see Hexman walking your way, coming from talking to Kurtz over there.
I'll flag him over right here with Lacey and
Joker.
Joker.
Yes, Mayor Timmons.
What are you talking to them about?
There's some dirty dealing going on with the land to the northwest. The whole bunch of folks without homes.
Oh, all these women over here with their drunk babies.
Drunk babies. What the fuck? Wait, this show does not promote drunk babies. Let's get that straight.
If you have a
Well,
drunk
they
baby,
keep
send them to
passing out.
Baby AA today.
Baby, a baby.
Yeah, and apparently some guy named Dan Jackson bought the property, bought the land, and they've kicked everybody out that was living there. So that's why those town folks are pissed.
Mm. Well, I do believe that the paperwork had to come through the mayor's office for approval. Does it not?
I think so. Yes,
Well,
yes. Of course, Timmons.
if you think so.
So maybe we should look into that as soon as somebody's elected mayor.
Well, as interim mayor, it is your job to look into it now.
Not really. They don't even let me sit in the big office.
I catch you in there all the time.
I said let. I said let.
Oh,
I
that's a
think they
good
know
point.
you do it too. I mean, you do snore loudly.
It's a ruse. I pretend I'm snoring.
Hmm.
So Joker Timmons looks at it and says, "So how do you feel about being a assistant mayor if you drop out?"
So you're looking at Joker. Joker looks at you and he says, I'm going to drop from the race. You'll have enough support with those that supported me if I throw in and announce my backing of you.
And then
But
you
you've got to take care of that. And again, he points to those guys over there next to Kurtz. And he says, "You see what's going on?" And then he points over to this guy over here, and he's got his face all busted up. And he points over at this other dude, and you can see he's walking with a limp, and looks like there's several people around here. Looks like they've had the shit beat out of them, and they're faces that might seem a little familiar, but maybe you've talked to these people, and maybe they were in support of you at one time. Looks like they've had the shit beat out of them.
and that the guy that helped me spread the flyers.
Uh,
I
yeah,
think
it could
so.
be, could be. Yep.
Then it's like, yeah, I think they're on the festivities. I think we should go pay him a visit.
Yeah, he tells you it's. Joker says it's not really a popularity vote here. You know, you may be popular with the people now, although I've heard the Women's League of Perdition not speak too highly of you.
Well, they don't like Indians.
Well, their husbands all had a good laugh at the barber shop. And he says, I've got a feeling that it'd be hard for anybody to beat Kurtz, but we stand a better chance if I don't run against you. So Joker says, I'll make the announcement tomorrow morning.
And then I'm gonna put you on the docket as assistant mayor.
assistant mayor, town manager. Okay.
That
So,
way, if something should happen to me, you can run this place.
So basically, you're going to get an office and resign.
I didn't say that. That's not my intent. Now, I live a dangerous life, and
you know what we didn't do? You guys see that Joker I drew?
yeah.
Yes.
I can't tell, is that the black one or the red one? That's the black Joker, isn't it?
Oh,
I thought it was the
okay.
red
It
one.
looks like red writing on it.
Okay, it is the red one. Okay.
Is that for a random encounter?
I'm going to, first of all, go to main. Reset adventure cards, reset fate chips.
Ooh, one of my favorite cards.
Fun.
No, it's actually one of my favorite cards.
Oh, I meant mine was fun because I got the epic
Oh.
card.
Epic card.
Love interest.
Oh,
In the other game, Carl likes to use it a lot on NPCs we're fighting.
alright.
What's the
I have
point
to
of
find this.
conviction?
They don't use conviction anymore. Do
Well,
they?
that's like the.
Well,
it's the
it's a
newer version.
Yeah, the newer version uses is what it is. Savage Worlds new. Yeah.
It's
So
like
why
the.
do I have a
It's like,
card that says I get a point of conviction?
I think it also says if you're not playing with conviction, you get bennies.
You get an
Oh,
extra
or
penny.
refresh your starting bennies.
Yep.
Oh.
So you could refresh your starting bennies, which you have 3 of them. Let's see.
That's a tough card to play right there. Shoo.
All right, modifiers at 10.
You know what would be fun? Love interest card on check right here. I do wonder how Marv would have that work out.
Do what?
Playing the love interest card on check.
It wouldn't. Would not work out. I will guarantee you this. It will not work out in a way that you would enjoy.
You don't know Brad then.
Really.
Because
Because you guys don't know. You don't know Shet Kurtz.
Be like, yes, I'd love to have you in my basement, chained to the wall.
That sounds. Yeah. Let's see. All right. So, as the party's going on, a train rolls into town. One of the many trains that comes by. Numerous people get off the train. Some get on the train. And then it heads on down into Los Angeles. But getting off the train is a bunch of Chinese workers. They're all carrying Mattixes, picks, pry bars, big hammers, mallets, things like that. And they start kind of heading up Market Street, and then they get up here to Main Street, and they start down this direction. And they come upon the party, and you see it almost looks like a bunch of armed people at first, but they're just tools that they're carrying.
It's like, hold on, you didn't see the detour sign? Sorry. It looks around. No, Egros. And points back the other way.
I forgot something here. Okay, that would not pertain, so no. No, let's go down here and let's roll on this. Oh, okay. All right. This is pretty cool. This has got an adventure generator. You just kind of go down through there, and it gives you all these different tables to roll on. And okay. All right. So anyway, they kind of make their way kind of through the crowd. You see them moving around the crowd and through the crowd, and they continue on off down Main Street this direction.
I, you don't understand. You don't read. They said clothed as they're going by. Tim and like, any of you can vote.
They all just kind of look at you. One of them stops and says, "What is it you mean to vote?"
If you're a citizen of perdition, you can vote for who's going to be mayor.
Some of my people speak very little English and the rest none at all. I apologize. My name is, let me scroll back up here. Who is this guy again? Wang Mo. Tells you his name's Wang Mo,
Doc Fox.
and he's just arrived from points further east where he was working, and he's come here on a salvage operation. He's supposed to salvage some stuff, so they're just passing through town.
Where are you staying?
We stay where we lay our heads.
That seems fairly uncomfortable.
Uh, yes, sir. It serves us well.
Who do you work for?
It's not something I'm at liberty to discuss. I typically do not share that information with. Who are you again?
I'm the. I, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I'm the interim mayor, Tim and Simmons. I'm basically the one that you got to get permission to do what you saying you're doing in town. So,
Oh,
who'd you say you work for?
so well, I work for myself. I own the company. I own a salvage company.
Ah, well, that make you a general contractor. So,
Yeah.
on Monday morning, you're gonna have to come fill some paperwork out. That's all.
Yeah, would there be a way we could take care of it tonight? And
Well,
you hear
well, sure.
jingle, jingle, jingle.
Why don't you come on in my office and we can talk about it?
So you take him into the city hall?
Yeah,
Which office you take him into?
I take him into the big one.
Okay.
I
See,
said, hold on. I seem to misplace my key. Hold on one second. He picks a lock. He's
You
getting good at the
give me
lock.
that. Give me that thievery check. Yep. you you see these guys that sit here and work here every day, uh, kind of look over and just shake their heads and they go back to work, and you go on in the big office. You take the guy in there. He says, "What kind of agreement
Please have
is
a
it
seat.
that we need to come to?" And he sits down.
He said,
He sets a big leather bag, chink, on the desk in front of him.
Timmons like reaches over and pulls it over to him, looks in it, and says, "What's in it?"
There's probably about 40, 50 gold pieces in here.
Ah, I see, I see. So Timmons reaches in his pocket and he pulls out a big stack of silver dollars and he drops it into the pouch, slides it back over to the other side of the table. And Timmons says, "Now, I ask you one more time, who is it you work for?"
He says, this particular job, I work for interests out of Shanfan.
Hmm.
That's about all I can say, really.
Well, there's only one person that you would work for in Shanfan. Big
Well,
is Tam.
let's. I've said nothing of the sort.
Well, don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'm friends with Big is Tam. Matter of fact, there might be a train coming through Perdition soon, if I have it my way.
Are you going to connect the Iron Dragon?
Well, that depends.
That'd be nice to know for an investor.
And I might need some of your expertise in the future. So we'll just call this meeting a very happy one, and you come and see me when you can.
He stands up and he bows to you, and out the door he goes. And they,
Oh,
they,
and vote for Mayor Timmons Simmons on Tuesday.
if we are still in town on Tuesday, perhaps my men may consider themselves residents of Perdition.
You never know.
And on up the road he goes, and he gets up here to you kind of watch him, this mob of Chinese, about 40 of them, make their way down the road here, and they get to the place where Dr. King just bought his office. Dr. King, you're sitting out here with your shotgun. About 40 Chinese come around the corner, and they're all carrying tools of destruction, mallets and you know hatchets and all kinds of stuff. And they head north up First Avenue.
As long as they're bypassing my little establishment, I'm not gonna stop them.
Yeah, they just walk on past
I would be sitting in a rocking chair
you.
with my with a little shawl because it's a little nippy for me, and I'd have my shotgun laying across my waist, just rocking back,
Maybe a glass of lemonade next to you.
I can see
sm-
with a little polish rag, maybe.
smoking a little cigar, just watching all of the sophisticates of perdition go about their business.
Well, you see that there's one man that kind of hurries up to catch up to him, and he catches up to him about right here. And it's obvious that he's probably their leader as they make way for him, and he makes his way to the front of the pack. And when they get to this intersection, he meets what looks like some other Chinese gentlemen, and they stand there and they discuss a few things, and then they all kind of disappear off in this direction. Every now and then you see H.G. Willikers stagger out from between one building and take a piss in the middle of the street and then turn around and stagger back.
Just random explosion sounds in the distance.
So much for that. So we will shuffle this deck. So yeah, and random encounters in here can be just about anything. It can be, you know, just whatever. I think it's great. Gives you a bunch of tools and lets you run wild with them. What
Yeah, it
searching
could be a
for?
social or uh some sort of evidence of illegal activity by the Kurtz.
I, I don't think it worked that way. I don't think I can give you search warrants to search for evidence. I think you have to have evidence to be able to search for stuff.
Or to search for more evidence.
Like
Well,
you can't just go and get a warrant on a hunch.
Why not? Aren't
Couple of
you the
guys from
mayor?
the more
yeah,
sophisticated parts of the continent here because most folks out west would give two shits about a search warrant, and half of them wouldn't even know what it was.
Right? That's what I'm saying. I mean, what are we gonna say here? Wipe your ass with this? If you're gonna go in, go in. Just don't get caught. Damn. And if you're gonna go in and force, you better bring a bunch of guys. So, are you asking for my help? My shotgun's inside.
Well, I'd rather do it without bloodshed.
Oh well, I don't think a piece of paper's gonna help you.
It was worth a shot.
I
Have
mean, if you want some kind of official stamps and shit, I seen them in there. There's some stuff in there, but I don't know what they do.
Why
Well,
don't you hit things with your gavel?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Here, hold a piece of paper out. There you go. It's official.
the paper's broken in half.
as you whack the gavel on the table on the piece of paper, the fiddler kind of stops and everybody turns around and looks. The mayor's speaking. And they
Oh,
realize that no, maybe he's not. Then they go back to talking.
yeah. We should take this outside.
Yeah, if we get the people behind us and rally against the bullies, basically, they'll have no choice but to leave, right?
Well, the one thing I can say is they certainly gonna think twice about it. But he does own quite a bit of piece of property in this town, and if he packs up his business, petition's gonna suffer. So there gotta be a compromise.
Mm.
The
Is
only
it
thing
true
I
that
can
this
see
Kurtz fellow is against
is
Taco
find out
Tuesdays?
who they have in their wheel. So
Find out who they have in their will.
yeah,
Well, while you're trying to figure that out, we're going to take a 10-minute break. What do you say?
yeah,
Sounds good.
And
yeah,
set a
yeah, yeah.
timer. We'll be back in about 40 minutes. Stick around, guys.
No, 10 minutes, not 40 minutes. 10 minutes.
We're back.
Yeah.
Sort of. Yay. Some of us are back. I guess we're back.
Yippee ki yay!
Yippee ki motherfucker. All right. So then, Jeb, as you and Doc Fong head off down the street, Timmons, you turn back around and you look at Sheck over there, and you see he and his little posse of people, his entourage, kind of turn around and head back up the street. They're probably headed back to his mansion, his manor house.
All right. I'm gonna stop by the sheriff's office on the way to the shipping office and ask Volmer what he's seen or heard about the Kurtz in his absence. In my absence, I mean.
Okay, Hardy's with you. By the way, J. Rob, Little Beaver's been hanging out with the Green Iguana and the rest of the Chumash. Have you any communication with him through all this time?
No, he's actually just been hanging out with them,
Okay.
doing the Indian thing right now.
Okay. All right. So, uh, Jeb, you talked to Vollmer and he says, "What is it you want to know?"
If he's heard any, about anything that the Kurtz have done, what he's maybe heard about them during my absence. Just anything I might be able to arrest the fucker for.
And he says in that kind of Louisiana drawl, he says, "Marshal, there's been a lot going on down around here. A lot of politicking things I don't particularly have interest in. But I can tell you, Kurtz is up to no good." And he kind of stands up and goes over and looks out the window, and right kind of across Telegraph Street from you is the office. So it's like right here,
Right.
you know, and you're here in the marshal's office. He says, been some characters coming out of there. They've been coming out all hours of the night, but they come at least once a day. And they ain't here to cook gumbo, I tell you that.
I agree.
What is gumbo?
Oh, Doc Fong, you ain't never had no gumbo? You know what?
I've heard of it.
I just about eat shoe leather right now. They get slim pickings around here.
Yes, it is very unusual.
So, it's the middle of the day. What are you gonna do? Obviously, they're still doing business over there. People coming and going. You just
Yeah,
gonna.
they do business at all hours of the night, apparently.
Well, no, he tells you that they shut down. He said, but eventually at some time of night, he said he'll hear horses out there. And there's somewhere 4, 5, or 6 people. They'll go inside. They'll be in there for a little while, and they come back out and they ride off. Happens every night. Usually before midnight sometime.
At about the same time every day?
Pretty close. Sometime around 10 o'clock or so, they'll ride up.
Maybe you could find a way to listen in at that time, Marshal Jeb.
That's a good idea.
So
We visited this place before, right?
that's where. No, the civil liaison's office there. I can't remember. I think you went there before, but I don't know what for. But that's basically the Kurtz. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where
I
all
was
their.
just wondering if I would. Yeah, I was wondering if I could recall the layout of the building.
Yeah, there's no map
Is it
for it.
open to the public?
Yeah, I mean it's a public office. If you want to,
So I'm sure Jeb probably would have stepped in at one point in his rounds.
yeah,
Sure,
Yeah, just to
probably.
check, make
yeah,
sure
Seeing
everything
that
was okay.
it's so Jeb's familiar with what the interior would look like, anyways, right?
yeah. So basically, think of like an old bank or something. There's a service counter up front, and then a hallway that goes back, and there's two doors that go off the hallway to the left and two to the right. So there's probably some offices back there. You do know that every day Shet Kurtz makes his way there, sometime after breakfast, and spends better part of the morning there, and then around noon he dips out for lunch and goes back for the afternoon. Granville works there, his son. So if you want to find them in the daytime, they're usually there. So they probably got offices back there.
Well, no, I was trying to figure out what might be the best place to listen in on what's going on there, and might have to get the mayor involved in this since he's the only one that of us that can use a lockpick.
That'd be great. Just 2 nights before the election, mayor gets busted. It's like Watergate of perdition.
It
Who, who's
would be
who's
exactly
yeah, but who's busting him? The
Perdition
marshal's holding the
Gate.
flashlight. He's like,
Exactly. I know these fellows are up to no good. I just need to find something to arrest them for.
Well, you might find out who these fellas are. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to go, breaking into some place to do it. It's more like, who are these people? And you did just see four obviously obvious looking gunmen,
Bodyguards.
yeah,
Yeah.
with Kurtz just now.
Marshal Jeb, have you considered just asking the gunmen who they are?
Well, they're either more Kurtz or hired gunmen. Either way, it can't be good.
Tate says, well, Marshal, I did take it to liberty to follow 'em out north of town, and it seemed they'd be going to Los Angeles every night after they leave here. Where they come from, I don't know. Goodbye, Joe. We gotta go, me oh my oh. Gotta go Port Puro down by oh.
Did you happen to see where they went in Los Angeles?
I just patrolling the town. Not to get too nosy. Besides, this job's getting old. Marshal Hexman, you gotta do me a great favor. I ain't gonna be able to stick around here much longer. Can't seem to stay in one place long enough.
Oh, don't you want to set down some roots? This would be a great place to do that. Well,
And
once we handle the Kurtz anyway.
I got one more name on my list.
What list is that?
Well, a list that I was hired to cross things off of.
Oh, yes. What was the other name? Perhaps we will run across and then we can come and tell you.
Her name of Rance.
Ah, we're
Ah,
after
that rabbit. Yes.
Rabbit Rance, yeah, he no good hombre. Some say he living out in a
I hear
maze
he's difficult
somewhere.
to find. Yeah, he's difficult to find. But we do know somebody that might actually know where he is. What was her name?
Ah, yes, but we didn't know where she is either.
I thought we did know where she was.
All right, so are you doing anything tonight or whatever? We passing time?
Yeah, I would wait until the 10, 11 o'clock hour or so, when they come around, and I would, watch them, and as they came out, I'd ask them, what's going on, who they were, et cetera, et
All
cetera.
right, now this is a stable behind you here, okay? And there is a very narrow walkway that goes between the marshal's office and that stable, all right? It's probably about 10 feet wide. I say narrow walkway. I mean, you could pull a buggy through it, but so you kind of hang around there and wait, but eventually they do show up. Timmons, you still partying?
What time on Sunday is it? Late 11?
He says he's waiting
Did you
till
say?
about. Yeah, let's see. They usually come between. Yeah, so I'll do
No,
this.
I think when it gets late on Sunday, they're
It's
going to
10
close it
o'clock.
down.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's probably a good time to end the party. And then Monday, they're going to start setting it up for the election. Get the little booths out and stuff
Okay.
for the voting. That's the real reason for the tents and stuff, for the voting.
All right.
So if it rains tomorrow, everyone stays dry to vote, cast a vote.
So about 10 o'clock, Jeb, you do see you see 6 horsemen pull up, and 2 of them go inside. The other 4 just kind of sit there. You hear them kind of mumbling, talking. Like to get a drink while I'm in town.
Evening, gentlemen. Where are y'all heading in from? As I kind of walk out of the shadows, flashing my badge. Or making sure it's seen, not flashing it.
You walk out of the shadows and start to speak, and immediately they all reach for their guns and turn their horses to face you, spin their horses around,
Damn, Doc.
and all of a sudden you don't know where Doc's at. You don't know what happened to him. He was by your side, but he's gone.
Yeah,
Don't look behind the shrubbery.
shh. Anyway,
Rustle, rustle, rustle.
I show that my hands aren't anywhere near my iron, and, just proceed to ask him again, where y'all coming in from?
Well, they all kind of look at each other and they turn around. And you can see them looking back at the door, like, well, the boss is in there. I don't know what to say, And they're all kind of looking. Well, our business will be our own, Marshal. We ain't causing no trouble.
Well, then you have no problem telling me where y'all are coming from,
Toad,
what y'all are doing.
Toad, go get the boss. And you see this guy kind of starts getting off his horse and he walks up, goes into the building. He says, we're just doing business. Anybody else? You got things to ship? You go to the shipping office. About that time, the door
Well, it's
opens.
kind of late for to be shipping things, ain't it?
You see 2 more guys come out. One of them says, Marshal, what's your business here?
My business is looking into what you're coming in so late for. I hear you come in about this time every night. It's kind of suspicious. Just kind of curious what y'all have been up to.
You hear a lot of things, don't you?
I see a lot of things too.
Well, would you believe it if I said that we were ghost rock magnates? And they've got decent
No.
clothes on, but he said, "Well, I'm sorry that you don't seem to take my word. You don't look upon me as being an honest man." And they all the 3 of them make their way back to their horses. The 2 that were inside, and the one that the guy called Toad, they get on their horses, and he spins his horse around. And he looks at you and he goes, "Marshal, I come and go where I wish. I do what I please. If I ain't hurt nobody, ain't none of your fucking business." And he jerks the reins and turns around, and they all head up Telegraph Road this way.
North out of town.
They're heading north up Telegraph Road.
Yeah. Probably north out of town.
Should we follow them?
Did that shrub just speak to me?
Rustle, rustle, rustle.
Yes, Mr. Shrubbery. I think we should follow them. I hope you're good with a horse, because they don't particularly like me.
You probably get the feeling these guys don't like anybody.
I think he meant the horses didn't like him.
All right, so you're gonna track these guys. How far are you willing to track them?
Just to see if they, are going out of town, and at least in what general direction.
Well, they turn down Kurtz Boulevard. They turn right up Cutter Road, and they turn down Pine Lane, and they stop right here. And you see, there's like a small coach, and it's got a horse tied to it. And there's a guy comes out. He's carrying a satchel, and he gets in the coach, and the whole party starts to ride, and they all ride, and they head out Los Angeles Highway out north.
Hmm. Would I be familiar with this area? Is this a residential or business?
Mostly, yep, mostly. Up in there's a residential area. Uh, this little section is some Chinese settled up in there. That's where Doc Fong, isn't that where your buddy's blacksmith shop is? Wasn't it up there? Where was that at?
I'm
I don't
not
remember.
sure.
I
Yeah.
think it was on the other side of the tracks.
No, it wasn't over there. It was up here somewhere.
Pretty sure it was on Camp Road or something.
Anyway. All right, so you watch them ride out of town?
Whose house were they in front of?
Yeah, would we know that?
Not standing there looking at it.
Well, I'm sure, if they
It doesn't
stop.
say it doesn't say Jones above the window, like
Nope.
dentist Jones.
Nope, doesn't say Jones, anything like that. Um, you can, give me an investigation roll, spend some time going around town, go down to Red Saloon. It's still hopping. Hell, it's only 10:15 at night. You hear pistols going off, shots going off, people getting crazy. You don't hear any screams, but
What would you want for the investigative type thing?
streetwise or similar. If you were in the wilderness, I would say survival, but it's not survival streetwise. 11. Okay.
That'll work.
Doc Fong doesn't have a problem figuring out who lives there, and
A lot of the local Chinese people are living nearby. I'd probably go ask them.
yeah, yeah, and you find out that you don't get what his name is, but you learn that he's a bookkeeper that works for the processing plant.
One of Kurt's men's. Or at least someone that works for Kurt's.
Kurtz, well, yeah, he owns a processing plant, so I guess he would work for Kurtz. That's kind of what they tell you. They don't seem to think too much about it. Why, Marshal? Is he a bad man? Has he done something? He murdered somebody?
I think he's been beating some of the town folks. He sold land right out from under people that supposed to have bought it from him.
Bookkeeper?
Yeah, evicted him. He's not a good man at all. You should vote Tim and Simmons. That's who I endorse.
Well,
Yeah, I got the hollowed voting for me. Thank you.
I heard that he is going to institute something called Taco Tuesday every week.
that just proves that the dead have voted in this country for hundreds of years now.
So
Okay, so You guys, what? Head back to Marshal's office. By the time you do all this, we'll say an hour's passed. 11 o'clock.
Having been so close to the shipping office, would I've noticed that when they lock up, nobody stays there at night?
There's a light on. There was a light on in there. There's a
Yeah,
light.
they
There's a
didn't.
light burning.
I just wasn't sure if somebody actually stayed there at all times.
Well, when they walked out, they just got on their horses and rode off. They didn't lock the door, and the light was still on. You gonna head back to the shipping office?
And I'll head back to the marshal's office and watch the shipping office for the night, for the rest of the night.
You get back to the marshal's office, and the light's off.
And
It
no further activity through
no
the night.
further activity through the night. She's just gonna kind of snooze there on the porch of the marshal's office.
I'll probably do some patrolling, at least in the nearby area.
Since you don't really need to sleep.
Right, unless you tell me I need to sleep.
All right, so let's see how things going for. Okay, uneventful. The night passes, and it is now Sunday the 13th.
What's Sunday? Isn't it Monday?
It was Saturday, I thought. Oh no, it is Monday. Yeah. Day before the election, and just about everybody has ceased to work at this point. It's a big festival going on in the streets. And Timmons, where did you stay last night? Did you go back to the Cliff Watch Inn with everybody
Hotel.
else?
Yeah. Yeah, the hotel.
You get back up there, and there's a setup every bit as big as yours, just to the west of your tent, and it's got all the Granville folks there. And you can see
All
that
right.
he's got some businessmen behind him, and there's quite a few other people. Um, and Marshall, you and I don't know if you, I guess you stayed all night at the Doc Fong. Where'd you stay at?
Well, if we were doing important investigative work, I would sleep at the
Stayed around the jail.
room at the marshal's office
Yeah. Okay. Well,
with the nice starlight view.
yeah, exactly. The
Hold
skylight.
on a second, guys.
Are you saying that they set up a tent here?
Mm-hmm.
Like in front of the Fallen Angel Saloon?
Well, it stops just short of the Fallen Angel Saloon, so it goes from here all the way up to yours.
Cool.
And
Sure.
you see that they've got these nice tables laid out with big trays full of sliced meats, steaming hot sliced meats.
Yeah, and when people would come up and get their free beer from Timmons would say, "Now, don't you miss out on going over next door and getting some of that free meat." You know.
So you're
I
gonna
hear it's
you're gonna
poison.
send them over to get free meat?
Well, hell yeah. I'm
Well,
gonna say it was mighty nice of him to donate that to the Tim and Simmons party.
I hear it's been poisoned. It's been laced with something
There's
to make you submissive.
a bunch of people over there eating on it. Is that your persuasion roll?
Yep.
Well, as you say this, the townsfolk just look at you kind of weird and walk off the other direction. They don't go towards the meat.
Timmons is gonna try to get him a sandwich.
Really, Timmons?
Well, they were at your party yesterday drinking your free beer.
Timmons moves over there, and he creeps up towards the edge of the tent, his tent, right?
Yeah.
And he keeps creeping. He's talking to somebody. Yeah, yeah. Then he takes a few steps over, pinches off a big sandwich, takes a couple steps
Takes a
back.
couple pieces of bread, slaps some meat on it. Uh, okay.
Vote me, damn
Kurtz is just looking at you. He's glaring, just glaring at you, and then you start
I
chewing
cannot
on
hold the
it,
sandwich.
chewing on that sandwich. Vote for Simmons, and when you do, and you start chewing on it, Kurtz kind of starts to smile a little bit. He's grinning. We'll see how this plays out, Simmons.
Does the food taste okay?
Tastes like a ham sandwich.
Yeah, it's not rotten.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be ham.
Sure,
Tastes
it's
like
not supposed to be long pig.
tastes like pork.
Oh, then Timmons is enjoying it because he hasn't had anything that didn't taste rotten in a few days.
Do you
Saying
come back, Timmons?
Timmons is like, the meat's not rotten.
All right, Timmons, do you come back and with the meat and the sandwich?
Come back to where? To the mayor's office? Yeah.
Well, out to your tents and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, it's only like one block.
Yeah.
Can I identify the type of meat?
Does it smell like human?
What? Does it
Well,
smell
actually, it should
like?
be a six.
It smells like a fucking ham
Okay.
sandwich, man.
Timmons is like, why are you smelling my sandwich?
Doc Fong,
Get,
it looks like
oh,
meat,
well, I
man.
put my hand on his forehead. What are you doing?
I don't know. I mean, tell me how you want to determine what kind of meat it is. I mean, it looks like pork.
All right. Well,
It
I
looks
mean,
like pork. I mean, you know.
you can. I don't have any training, and I can tell the difference between ham and roast beef.
Exactly. It doesn't look like beef, and it doesn't smell like beef. It smells like roast pork. That's ham. It
Well,
smells like ham sandwich.
from a Harold's point of view, does it smell like human flesh?
Does
I think
Harrod
because
have
Have
a
you eaten
special
it?
nose for sniffing out human flesh, or
He
what?
well,
has eaten it before.
since I have eaten it, I mean, it makes sense.
Uh,
Does it taste like people?
Timmons seems to think it's good. He's chowing down on it. Anyway, so
Jeb will step over to the other tent and wish them good luck and grab a slice of the meat.
all right, you walk over to the other tent, and you walk up to Sheck and his son Granville Kurtz, the candidate, and you say what?
Good luck in the election and whatnot, and I take a piece of the meat.
He's reaching.
Help yourself, Marshal. He smiles at you, and he says, by the way, it's a rude thing to butt into another man's business. A Budinsky is what we call that. Or a Budinsky
Call
is
it
what
what you
we
want.
call
I
that,
call
Nick,
it
because he's back from back east someplace, and we call you butting into other people's businesses, a big Budinsky. But help yourself nonetheless. And he
call
turns
me
around
whatever
and
you want.
grumbles and walks off. He doesn't even want to talk to you.
Okay then.
Timmons, I need you to give me a spirit roll in the tower, please.
Barrett roll.
Yep, just a straight out spirit
Can I
roll.
Benny it just to begin?
You can. You can roll.
Okay.
You can roll twice.
There.
You
Iron stomach.
you rolled twice.
No.
I thought you said you were gonna Benny it.
Oh. No, I was joking.
Oh.
Why would you use a Benny first?
Yeah, good point. Doesn't work that way here. That's why I like this better. Budinsky, Budinsky. Yeah, good sandwich, Jeb. You notice that your vocal cords seem to heal up a little bit after you get this good meat in you. Seems to be a little bit better than the rancid shit you've been eating.
Wow. Mm. Ah. Oh yeah, much better.
You still seem to have a small hole over there, but it's much smaller than before.
Fixing itself.
Does it whistle when you breathe, Marshal Jeb?
I don't breathe, remember? I suppose I do the movement out of habit, though.
Okay, so the
Oh,
day passes, and let's see what kind of. Oh, that's twice now I've done that. All right.
Let's say if you talk, you gotta have air in your lungs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the muscle's still there, but he doesn't need to breathe.
Yeah, the body functions because the Manitou keeps it functioning. He wants a human vessel that works and functions properly and speaks, or else he loses his contact with the outside world. So, things are getting louder. More and more gunfights are going off, or guns are going off. Pow, pow, and then you hear, "You son of a bitch!" And some guy gets punched, and he flies into somebody else's table, and that's all it takes.
Son of a bitch.
And at first, there's about 5 or 6 guys in a big fist fight over here. And some people are trying to get away from them, and some are just standing there, sitting there at their tables laughing and holding their beer. And then, boom! Somebody gets knocked into one of the dudes sitting there laughing, and he just stands up and just cracks this glass beer mug right over the back of the guy's head, and the guy drops to the ground. Blood's running out of the back of his head, and the fight is on. Next thing you know, it's not 6 people, it's 10 people. And it's growing by the second.
So
Jeb
Timmons
should
goes over and helps the guy up that got hit in the back of the head with the glass beer mug. And he says, "I'm sorry about your luck, Mr. Solo, but you better get out of here."
You help.
And that's where the Solo Cup was invented.
Oh my God, Timmons gets another Benny for that one.
Gonna have a party. You better use Solo Cups, not glass mugs.
Red Solo Cup.
Is there a jingle for that?
No, it's a Toby
It
Keith
is
song because he's the world's worst songwriter. I don't know if he wrote
God,
it or not, but I mean, I don't know. I'm just not a fan. And I'm sure Toby Keith would watch this and he would say that Marbanya motherfucker. I hate that son of a
yeah,
bitch.
I know he's watching it.
You know,
He's one of your 216 followers, by the way.
his.
Well, he wouldn't be so mad if he hadn't sunk his boat back in the 80s.
you sure that wasn't
That
Fred Banya?
that was not in the 80s. That was in the early 2000s. That was Fred Banya, and that wasn't his boat. So.
I like the idea that just some point in time, like before all that, you just sunk Toby Keith's boat.
It wasn't Toby Keith's boat, but
You're
that's
just like,
that's what
I don't
Fred
like
told
your
me
song.
anyway. That's what Fred
You're like,
told me.
I don't like your songwriting, and you just hit it with an axe or something, and
I sank your battleship.
All right, so with the Joker, there was no other way that could play out, and what you have now is the fight is on, and tables are getting cleaned out, and it's now 30 people fighting. And
Chip, I have an idea that might clear some of them out. Should I try it?
By all means.
I'm gonna try to toss some of these fun mushroom juice over there and do fear on the area to scare them all to make them run out.
on the area where the area they're fighting in, let's say it is probably 20 by 20, 25 by 25 area. How big of that area can you hit?
How big is a large burst template?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. Let's see. I could open up one of these maps.
If we have a test map, we can find out what the general idea of that is.
It's that big.
Why does that?
Large burst template is 6 inch in diameter. Medium burst is 4. Small is 2.
So that's
That's 30.
six times
So
6 is 36. So it's about 36. Yeah, it's big enough to cover the circle of fighting people. And you're gonna do
you probably
what?
get at least 75%
I'm
of
gonna
them.
use my fear power
Okay.
and give them all a bad trip.
A bad trip. So what do you gotta using your trappings? Paint this picture for me. You gotta sell it. Sell it to the DM because I don't understand what you're doing.
All right, so he
This
has
way-
some vials of interesting plants that he has with his own special miracle grow. He calls it Dog Fong Grow. He was thinking with Miracle Fong, but it didn't quite work out.
That sounds like something else anyway.
Yeah. So he tosses this, and as it breaks, it pushes a lot of spores up into the area from some very interesting mushrooms he has been growing that he
Okay,
found.
a cloud of spores. You slam this onto the ground, a cloud of spores. It's a successful roll. So, because it's a successful roll, but not a raise, I'm going to say that now. Tell me how this normally affects. It'll affect how many people? Anybody in the circle?
Everyone would have to make a fear check.
Okay, so we're going to say there's 20 people in there. They make a fear check, so that's 20d4, right? Uh, where's my dice? How come they always end up someplace else on the table?
What, D4?
Fear? What's the? Oh, fear roll. Never mind. Never mind. Hang on a second. So I'll have to open up a townsfolk here.
I mean, just say if average half of them got panicked because they're extras, they would try to run.
It's a spirit roll, which is a d6. So we'll do this. And of course, some of them are going to ace. Which is a total of.
Only one.
Yeah, only one aced.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 succeeded. 1, 2, 8
Yep.
succeeded.
All right. You say
Yeah,
eight succeeded? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah,
8, 9.
I see 6. I see
Oh,
6 that got a 5
it's a
or higher.
contested roll. Okay, 6. Okay, so the rest of them run off. There's 6
Oh.
guys left, and they're still punching and it's affected them, but they're still fighting. But the rest of them run off just and they're swatting at shit flying around in front of them and stuff. And one of them's going, "Mommy, I didn't mean to," and they're running away. But these 6 guys still fight. Who else has something they want to try to do here?
All right, Jeb. Let me double check the size on this because I don't remember it offhand. I'm going to use my stun power, and it is a medium burst template. That should easily cover the 6 guys fighting, right? 4x4.
You're gonna hit them with a 4x4? What?
Kind of.
It's a stun burst.
Yes, it's a medium
Yep,
burst
that should
template.
easily hit the 6 guys that are still fighting.
And another. I like that.
It sounded like hitting somebody over the head with a shovel, actually, but.
Stun shocks those within a medium burst template. If the arcane caster scores a success, targets within the area of the effect must make vigor rolls or be shaken. With a raise, victims make. Okay, I didn't get a raise, so that doesn't. So they just have to make a vigor roll.
I really can't do it as a group, can I? 1, 2, 3 of them succeeded. So
So
three of them just kind of stop, boom, dead in their tracks.
yeah, basically, what Jeb does is he makes a one of his glowy cards appears and he just kind of lobs it into the air and it lands between them and kind of does this flash concussive type force.
And Timmons is going to go over to the three that are fighting and grab two by the sides of their heads and go pop, and bop their head together.
Sounds like that. Ding. So Timmons, you run over there, and so give me like persuasion or intimidation or some way to try to stop these last three from fighting.
Who, Timmons?
Yeah, Timmons.
He wants to smack two of their heads together.
Well,
Really
if we're gonna
hard.
do that, then we're gonna have to. We got three guys here, and I'm gonna have to throw three townsfolk in here, which I can do real easily. Townsfolk. This is a waste of time, but
Timmons,
Yeah.
you should use your words.
Timmons, I'm using my words. You stop fighting or I'm going to clap your head together.
That works.
all
You need
right.
a persuasion.
So yeah, give me a persuasion roll or intimidation or what have you against their. I think it's spirit.
Yeah, he's not very intimidating. He's going to try to persuade it. Vote me, Timmons Simmons. See, it didn't work.
Yep,
I was
didn't
hoping
work.
it wasn't going to work.
Spend a
I
Benny.
tried.
Okay, didn't
Yeah.
work. All right,
Gotcha.
so they just keep on fighting. So you grab a hold of them, and we will menu.
Looks like I go first.
And you, actually no, because we have to start the round. That just re-rolled for everybody, didn't it?
Oh.
Well, looks like you're going first. Fuck it. Just grab the guys and bonk them on the fucking head. We're done. Boom. They're done. They're done. They're out of there.
Right? I mean,
Waste of time.
club them.
Club them. So you get the fight broken up.
Yeah.
Timmons, as you're standing around this afternoon, you notice that there are some people that were cheering in your corner yesterday, drinking and talking with you, and but today they're over there in the other camp. A couple of them look like they've had the shit beat out of them again, like fresh bruises. Doc, as you guys come to check on what's going on with all the stuff here, you know, you're kind of hanging out beside this fight breaks out. You make your way through. You hear somebody hollering behind you. It's a lady. And she's pulling this kid with her, and the kid's holding his arm like this, and he's kind of stumbling along, and he's holding his arm like it's injured, and she's hollering for a doctor. Somebody help! I need a doctor.
I can help.
You get over there, and she looks at you at first. Well, you're a Chinaman.
That is accurate.
Are you a doctor?
I am. Would you like me to take a look?
I guess. And you see the little boy. He's probably about 6 years old. And
He's almost as tall as you.
he holds his arm up, and you can see a compound fracture, and the bone has punctured his skin and is kind of sticking out. There's about maybe an inch of bone sticking out through the bottom part of his forearm.
Ouch. What happened to your arm?
He looks at his mom and he's sniffling, and he can't hardly talk. And his mother says, "What? He fell down playing."
You can tell me the truth. I'm a doctor.
Hey,
Um,
you fell down playing, didn't you, little Johnny? And he said, "Fuck yeah!" And you just tried to do what? Persuade him? Little Johnny goes, "Fuck yeah!" Well, Johnny, you're not supposed to cuss.
Well, let me see what I can do. I
Doc
will-
Face tries to persuade him and pushes on the bone.
Be
Come on,
thankful
I'm
you
gonna
got
help you,
that
don't you?
one trait roll out of the way. Ow! Ah! The little kid just starts screaming and crying. Ah!
Let me put this poultice on it. That will help.
Ah,
It stings! It stings!
Hold still while I reset your bone here.
So right here in front of everybody, you grab hold of this kid,
standing in the street.
start
you're like,
pulling on it. People are all mortified, man. They're looking at you and they're like, "What the fuck?" They're trying to move away from you. The kid's screaming. You're jerking on his arm. But finally, it snaps back into place, and you slap this poultice of wet tea leaves on there, and -1 elderly strength roll. Yeah, you just couldn't get it, but
Come help me reset this arm. It seems a little stuck.
you just can't. You can't quite get it. Jebby's asking you to help.
All right, kid, this might hurt.
Snap! It pops right back into place, and I mean, the kid just passes out, hits the ground, and then there's a puddle in the dirt road that starts to grow around him where he's peeing his pants.
The child is okay. Yes, Doc Fong.
I believe so.
no, he's unconscious. That's what happens when you fall unconscious. You piss yourself.
Let me bandage the wound and also check to see if he's still alive.
He's still alive. You bandage him up. You get a sling tied around him. You probably don't do it right here in front of everybody. You take him to, the preacher's church or whatever schoolhouse and work on him there. Things kind of get back to normal. You get things calmed down. Very good. You guys handle that successfully. I didn't have to break out 30 NPCs into a fucking street fight. Anything anybody wants to do on this glorious Monday before the election tomorrow?
I want to take a close look at the arm and see if I can get kind of an idea of like what sort of injury might have caused it.
You can. Uh, yeah, just be a healing or a medical or whatever, and it
I
looks
didn't know.
like a very hard blow. A very hard blow to the arm.
Ma'am, won't you please tell me the truth? What happened?
Marshall, all I can say is he fell down, and she says, "Is that right, little Johnny?" And he says, "Fuck yeah!" And she looks like there's no way in hell that she's gonna tell you what happened, if you don't believe her. But she's a terrible liar.
Did you say
Yeah.
your name was, ma'am?
My name is Margaret.
Well, Margaret, I am very glad I was able to help as much as I could.
Margaret Tiefenthaler.
Margaret, I got you. Yes,
Say that one, Tiefenthaler.
Margaret.
So yeah. So now what are you gonna do?
Oh. Oh.
What?
He's playing love interest.
Good timing.
Well, as you say this, she stops and looks at you, and she does a double take real quick, and then she looks deep in your eyes, and you see a ting, a little spark, a little sparkle of light off of her eyes, and she says, "Well, Dr. Fong, I'm sorry. Have we I know you've been working on little Johnny. Fuck yeah, he says. And, but I really didn't notice. You have striking eyes.
Ah, yes, I use them to see things.
Oh, well, that's brilliant. Is that why you're a doctor?
Ah, indeed it is. Without my ability to see things, it would be very difficult to do doctoring.
Um, she's just kind of batting her eyes at you. Are you married? Is there a Mrs. Fong?
Ah, no, there's not. Is there a Mr. Blah, blah, blah?
Tiefenthaler's the name.
Ah, yes,
No.
different song.
My husband was killed in the war 2 years ago, just right before the end. I came out here with little Johnny in hopes of getting a new start. Fuck yeah, he says.
Ah, yes, well, if you're worried someone might threaten you or little Johnny, Marshall and I are able to protect you, so don't worry about any threats. If you could tell us what happened with.
I'll give you a +2 on a persuasion roll, Doc Fong, to persuade her
Roll
to tell you.
really well.
6. She says, I must get safely back to my home. Perhaps we'll speak there.
Yes, we can escort you to make sure nothing happens.
As you're walking back to the northern side of Perdition toward their home, you pass a group of guys, and one of them is carrying, looks like the handle of an axe over his shoulder. And when she sees him, the little boy gasps really loud and starts crying and runs off the other direction, and the woman runs after him.
Should we follow Doc Fong or should we check out this guy?
Well, something must be up. Why don't we. You have a word with him? Do that intimidating thing you do where you get real close and breathe in their face.
Yeah, you should have a gross out roll.
I wonder. I actually think that might be a edge I can take as a harrowed.
So, what are you gonna say to him?
Uh, Sir, hi, I'm Marshal Jeb Hexman, and you are?
None of your fucking business. You want me to spell it for you?
I, I'm gonna pull out my gun and basically stick it right in right at his throat.
There's about 6 of these guys.
That's okay.
All right, intimidation. All right.
It's a single action revolver, and I haven't even cocked the hammer. I just yank it out and jam it into his throat, into his neck, like right there. Now, do you want to try that again?
What'd you roll? 5?
Yep.
What is it? Contested spirit roll?
That sounds right.
Can I attempt to assist him by dramatically unholstering my guns and spitting them on my fingers?
You can certainly try.
Billowing your cloak is the same thing, though, right?
Roll me a percentile
Ye-
die.
Me or Doc?
No, as a matter of fact, roll me a d4, Doc. Just roll a d4.
Bonus action billow. What?
All right, so you almost drop your gun as you start to pull it out of your holster. You don't even get close to trying to spin it around your finger. And you kind of fumble with the thing as you're trying to pull it up on the guy.
What?
And the guy's looking. Jeb's got his gun like this, and the guy's kind of looking down at the gun at Jeb, and he's like, You gonna kill me, Marshal? You can't do worse to me.
I'll cock the hammer back at that. Click. One more chance. I'd really rather not spill blood.
Give me another intimidation roll.
Of course, it's a 5.
When you pull that hammer back, you see a little bead of sweat form on his cheek, start to roll down his cheek right here. He doesn't say anything. He's just looking at you, and then he closes his eyes.
I'm going to uncock the hammer, but still leave the gun there. Like I said, I don't want to shed blood. Just answer the question of who you are. It's a simple question.
These guys start to fan out around him, around you. These 6 guys start to kind of encircle you and Doc Fong.
I'm going to quickly turn the gun around and pistol whip them, and then just walk away.
Okay, so I've got to put you on a map to do this.
Also, if you want to not do a critical failure, because that would be hilariously bad.
Do you want just a straight fighting roll for that?
Here, let's just handle it that way. Give me a straight fighting roll. Well, you connect. Let's see if it beats his tough, and it does not beat his toughness. So it just kind of rocks his head sideways, and he looks at you. Kind of runs a tooth or a tongue across perhaps a chipped tooth. Spits a little blood out. He says,
Yeah,
Marshal,
I just
if you want to live to see another sunrise, of course he don't know you're dead. I'd leave well enough alone. You got a job to do, and so do I. And my work
I'll
day
let
is
you in.
done.
I'll let you in on a little secret. I've already been buried alive twice. So, I'm not easy to kill.
Yeah, you don't shake him too much with that story. He said, after tomorrow, it'll all be for naught. Hell, I might not even see you again.
Oh, why do you say that?
Well, once Kurtz is elected mayor, you won't have a leg to stand on, pot to piss in, or a window to throw it out of.
No, could you please tell us everything? We would much appreciate it.
I ain't telling you shit. I told you that.
You've already told me enough.
Unless you're going to arrest me. I'm going home now. My work day's done.
I think I shall. I mean, you won't even give me your name, so you're at least suspicious enough that I should arrest you. So,
So these guys all go for their guns as you say this. This is what's called a quick draw. Okay?
No, sorry.
All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to play a hand of cards real quick.
all right.
All right? It's a 5-card stud. You get 5 cards, and the party gets 5 cards to see who gets the drop on who. All right? So let's clear that hand and reshuffle that deck.
Could I try a desperate last-minute persuasion roll to
Nope.
convince them all to surrender?
Jeb, did that give you a card?
He's
How
got
many-
a 4.
It
many
did in the combat tracker.
How many people again are Jeb Hexman and Doc Fong facing down?
Wait a
Six.
second. Wait a second. Wait a second. 6 guys. There. Well, one of them, they got the drop on him because he got a gun. But there's 5 of them that have fanned out around him. Uh, Let me start over again because, well, I can't because you got a good hand rolling. So I'm going to deal your hand out first. No, I can't do it that way. Sorry, Jeb. So I will.
I
Do
mean,
I get a hand too?
I can see the cards when you deal them like that.
Exactly. But I need to deal you one and I need to deal me one.
Ah, gotcha.
So
You're right. You're totally right.
I deal you one. Oh, look at that.
Face
And I
cards
deal
are
me
good.
one.
It's a shame I don't have any of the huckster edges for cards.
As the queen comes out, Jeb, you catch a glimpse and everything goes into slow motion and you start to turn your head and see this guy beside you going for his gun. He's obviously the fastest, the most skilled, because there's no look of fear in his eye. What the fuck? Okay, well, it was return to the deck. So you don't get this.
That's not good.
The guy standing next to him must be bolstered by his friend's courage. And his hand starts to go down. And you see a third guy reaching. By now, you're grabbing for your other gun, or you're moving the gun to aim at somebody else. There's your queen. Chance of a flush though, for me. And the final card.
I've got crap so
Well, shit.
far. Duh. I've got crap. 2, 5, and 7 of spades, an 8 of clubs, and a queen of diamonds.
Yeah.
That ain't shit.
Well, this guy's got a pair of aces, and as they do, the guns come up. So we're gonna leave it right there for the week. As you face off in the street. And let's see.
Actually, for the 2 weeks, because
Yep, it's Thanksgiving
unless
next Thursday.
we're
We will
having
not.
turkey sandwiches.
That's right. Nope, we will not be having turkey sandwiches. Drake, you going to Atlanta?
No.
Nope.
I would
For
hope not.
Christmas. Christmas.
I knew you went up there for one of them. Hello, Diablo Bob.
I think last year I did go of Thanksgiving.
So things are starting to heat up here at election time, and I'm going to turn the attention away from what's happening in one of these back alleys over here, okay? Because this is happening like back over here. We are going back to Timmons for a second. It comes the time of the evening, Timmons, when the candidates are going to make their speeches, their final speeches, to all of the citizens, the residents of the town. Uh, no, Doc Fong, you were not. That was simply a Jeb Hexman versus. That was an intimidation thing he was doing to see whether or not he could, you know, kind of keep them from drawing. But
Stare
it's
'em
not.
down.
It's not going to stare him down. But it's not going to happen. Um, So we'll draw cards and we'll have a little round, but I wouldn't think too much of it. What was I talking about?
Timmons
Shit.
speech.
Timmons speech. So
Speech.
yeah,
Speech.
it comes to the end of the evening, okay, and Timmons will also play a little poker against his other opponent next week. But depending on some things that you guys do, he may get bonuses or penalties to his hand over the next little bit. See what goes on. Now, as the speeches start, they ask Timmons to step up first, and but you see that Joker Watson says, "Hold on just a second. I've got an announcement to make." And Joker stands up and he says, "I've come to the decision that there are too many candidates in this race, and that it upsets the balance against my uh, what I see as the potential outcome here. I have therefore decided to withdraw my candidacy." And as he says this, you hear people go, "What? No, no!" And some other people going, "Yeah!" And I fully throw my support behind. He's getting louder, trying to speak over behind candidate Simmons for mayor of Perdition. And then there's people yelling and stuff, but there's a group of people, as you look around, Timmons, there's a group of people that don't seem excited one way or the other. And they're all the ones with the black eyes and the hamburger faces and stuff. They seem to, they're not going to cheer for anybody, but you probably don't have their vote. So we'll see what happens a week from next Thursday, 2 weeks from today. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Is Jingo on streaming by chance? He sometimes does a Deadlands thing.
No.
I don't see him on.
Mm-mm.
I think I'm following him anyway.
I'm gonna have to find some
Yeah.
more Deadlands people.
Oddly enough, I am not for some reason. Weird.
Oh, you need to be following Jingo.
I thought I was.
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna rate anybody tonight. So, tomorrow night, back here for Starfinder, DM Fenric, Drake Scott. Which one are you doing tomorrow night, Drake?
I'm running Jungles of Cholt.
Jungles of Chult. And that's Matakuri and the gang will be over there on Drake's channel. So catch us someplace. Lots of things going on. Diablo Bob, buddy. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Everybody else who was out there, Dragon Bait, and got a follow tonight from. It was a really long name. Let me scroll back up here.
Harry.
Harry. Yeah, yeah. Harry. What'd you call him, Harry? That's easiest.
Some guy named Harry.
Some guy named Harry.
Another some guy named.
All right. So you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow night again. Say bye, everybody.
Bye. Don't forget, good Thanksgiving next week.